So why does failure feel like a punch in the
Powered by
gut, even
Riverside
when no
FM.
one else is watching? Welcome back to the Failure Academy, the podcast where we normalize, unpack, and grow through the messy stuff we usually hide. I'm your host, Diana, and today we are diving into the psychology of failure, why it hurts so deeply, what it actually means, and how we can begin to heal from it. Let me begin with a personal story. When I graduated from the university back in Kenya, I was full of electric hope. I had done everything right, earned the grades, gotten the degree, pushed through the hustle. I was ready to build a career I believed in, one that matched all that I had worked so hard for. But then reality hit. I couldn't find a job in my field, not even close, so I took whatever I could just to get by. I worked at jobs that had nothing to do with my skills or passion. Some days I felt invisible, other days I felt like I was letting everyone down, most of all myself. I remember sitting in front of my CV and just thinking, was that effort all for nothing? And then that voice crept in. Maybe you're not good enough, and maybe you never were. It wasn't just the sting of rejection, it was deeper. It was shame, disappointment, a widening silence between the life I had dreamt of and the one I was actually living. That season shook me, but it also sparked something. It marked the beginning of unlearning, the slow unraveling of the belief that failure meant I was broken. That season became chapter 1 in my journey of unlearning shame and relearning self-worth. So, what is failure psychologically? Here is something wild. Your brain reacts to failure the same way it responds to physical pain. That's right. Miss a presentation, get ghosted after an interview, mess up something very important, and your brain will light up like you've been physically hurt. Failure doesn't just bruise your ego, it activates your deepest fears, fear of rejection, shame, unworthiness. Psychologists call this self-discrepancy, the emotional pain that shows up when who we are doesn't match with who we think we are supposed to be. You didn't feel crushed because you are weak. You felt crushed because your brain was signaling, this is a threat to the version of me, the person I believe I am. So why does failure feel so personal when it happens? We simply grow in systems where worth is tied to achievement. Gold stars, straight A's, medals, titles, likes. We are taught at an early stage, if you are not achieving, you are not enough. So when we fail, we don't just miss a goal. We feel like we've lost a part of who we are. But here's the truth I'm still learning. Failure feels personal, but it is not who you are. Think of a recent failure in your life. Did you see it just as something that happened or as proof of who you are? Start separating this event from your identity because you did fail, that's right, but you are not a failure. There's an important concept I would like to introduce to you. The concept of fixed mindset and growth mindset. It's by a famous psychologist called Carol Dweck. So what is a fixed mindset? It simply says, if I failed, it means I'm a failure. A growth mindset says, if I failed, it means I learned something. One mindset leads to shame, the other one opens up a new chapter. Here is a real life example. We all know Michael Jordan. He once said, and I quote, I've missed more than 9,000 shots. I've lost almost 300 games. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. It didn't avoid failure. It used it. I want to introduce to you 4 tools that you can use to shift your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Number 1, normalize failure. Learn to talk about failure, share it, and sometimes even laugh about it. It's human. Let's stop treating it like a secret. Number 2, detach from the outcome. You are not your job title, your income, or the follower count you have on your social media. Growth matters more than outcome. Number 3, always use failure as data. That launch, that pitch, that conversation you had, look at it like a feedback and ask yourself, what worked? What didn't? What can I do to adjust it to be better? Number 4, practice self-compassion. If a friend came to you heartbroken over a failure, you'll be kind. How about you speak that same kindness to yourself because you deserve it? Here's another signature framework that I would like you to incorporate in your daily life. Let me introduce you to the 3 R's of failing forward. Number 1, recognize the story you are telling yourself daily. Every failure triggers a narrative. It's rarely just, I made a mistake. It's often, I always mess things up. I'll never make it. I'm not good enough. Ask yourself, what am I making of this failure? What does it mean about me? Am I catastrophizing or comparing? Is this story kind or cruel? Why it matters? You can't change what you don't recognize. Awareness puts you back in control. Number 2, reframe the meaning. Once you've heard the story you are telling yourself, challenge it. Don't settle for, I failed so I'm incapable. Instead, try asking, what else could be true here? What did this experience teach me? Could this be setting me up for something better? For example, instead of, I bombed that interview, I'll never get a job, how about you try? That interview showed me where I need to grow, and I'm getting better with each try. Reframing isn't lying to yourself. It's choosing a narrative that empowers instead of paralyzing yourself. 3. Reset your next step. Now that you've recognized the story and reframed it, take action. Failure often makes us freeze, but confidence comes from motion. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do differently next time? How can I show up with what I've learned instead of what I've lost? Here is a tip. The next step doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's rewriting your CV, sending that email, trying again, or simply resetting and trying tomorrow. Resetting is how we move forward, with wisdom in our pocket and our heads held up a little higher. So here are the key takeaways. Your brain reacts to failure like it's a wound, not a weakness. You can rewrite the story from shame to growth. Compassion is always more powerful than criticism. Here is a quick exercise for you. Take a few minutes and write down one recent failure, what it taught you, what you'll try differently next time. Let this be your mirror, not your verdict. Failure isn't the end of your story, it's the comma. The pause before what's next, a moment between what was and what could still be. Thank you for being here today, truly. If this episode resonated with you, send it to someone who's stuck in their own failure story. And leave a review. Your words help this message reach someone who needs it. Next week on the Failure Academy, we are diving into a topic which is so close to my heart, self-sabotage. Why we sometimes ruin things right before they work out. Don't miss it. Until then, stay bold, stay human.